Hey all, and welcome back to the HellfireComms Disneython for the very last audio commentary. And we're going to end it as we began by watching one of my favourite Disney movies. This is the Hunchback of Notre, and I'm here today with Helldragon.
Yeah, like I said before in a Dream Drop Distance, that's pretty much my only real exposure to the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I did watch the last part, like I said, and I kind of have an idea of how the plot plays out and, you know, the kind of relevance this movie has with the overall Disney canon. From what I've seen, you know, it's got a realistic and serious bent compared to all the other Disney films, and I think it stands out really well as a result.
Apart from the talking gargoyles, of course.
Okay, well, yeah. I must say that unfortunately talking gargoyles were not present in the original novel this was based on, and I think that's a loss we all feel.
Yeah, this is one of Disney's darker pictures. Well, in terms of the whole Disney canon, obviously, you know, you got to put things into perspective, but I love this movie for a few reasons. Number one, obviously, the fantastic animation, you know, it holds up well. Number two, the music's great. Much like Hercules, it goes for a religious bent, but I think it fits more thematically here, as opposed to the gospel style in Hercules, even though I love it, mind you. And three, the story's pretty good, and the characters really help it along.
Yeah, it's really religiously charged, like I've said before. And I know there was a lot of complaints when this movie originally came out that, you know, it kind of downplayed a lot of the more important, some of the important religious bits from the original novel. The characters were very different. Like, for example, here, Frollo is pretty much like, you know, this really relentless religious, you know, kind of tyrant sort of guy. But in the original book, he was a lot more complex. And actually, Quasimodo wasn't exactly that much of a good guy in the original book, you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about maybe he's a bit lecherous?
Something like that, and especially what happens near the end of that.
Should I spoil it now so as not to end the marathon on a sour note?
Look, I didn't read the book either, you might as well go ahead and spoil it.
Okay, Esmeralda dies, and then Quasi breaks into the crypt and starves to death, basically, cuddling her, and then they find a deformed skeleton later on, clutching Esmeralda's bones.
You know, I'm glad you kind of brought that up at the beginning as opposed to the end. By the way, in the original book, he dies a horrible death! That was the Disneython!
Bye! Oh, Judge Claude Frollo, played by the wonderful Tony Jay, one of my absolute favourite Disney villains, right next to Hades.
Yeah, I really wish they got Earl Boen to reprise him in Dream Drop Distance, because Earl Boen is probably the only guy I've heard who can closely match the kind of performance Tony Jay brought to everything. Like, he was a hell of an actor, a hell of a singer. If you want to see one of his other lesser-known roles that are still really good, check him out in The Bard's Tale, where he's the narrator, actually, and it's just a great contrast to the tone of that game. I love it.
Now, in Dream Drop Distance, they got Corey Burton, and Corey Burton is a fine man, but he's no Tony Jay, unfortunately.
Well, I haven't met Corey Burton. I guess he's a fine man in real life, but, yeah, you know, his performance is okay. I mean, I'm not bashing it, but, you know, Tony Jay, like you said, is really hard to duplicate.
Oh, he's gonna feel really silly when it turns out she was just carrying a loaf of bread.
This is the ugliest loaf of bread I've ever seen!
I must drown it before the bakers realise what evil they have brought into this world.
Now, let's see if Lassie finds you down here!
No, Frollo, it's almost lunch.
This is the ugliest baguette I've ever seen. Come on, I'm doing everyone a favor here.
Oh, here he goes again with his bloody hymns.
Yeah, you know, I sort of accidentally killed a gypsy on the steps, and now I'm the bad guy.
Can you skip to the end of this hymn, Father? I've got a lot of baby killing to do today.
Once upon a time, amen. That's just what it should be in church.
Brilliant. Sorry, you kind of caught me off guard there.
And these statues have, like, the most intense glare. What's up with that?
Now, I'm not really a religious person, but damn if this doesn't give me pause for thought.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And as you can see throughout the movie, I mean, even though Frollo here doesn't exactly match the Frollo in, you know, the original book, he's still a pretty strong villain, because everything he does is so backed up by this whole fear of God, and it permeates every part of him. So even though he may be a bit more one note, he still pulls it off strongly enough to be compelling in his own way, I think. He's wearing like a foot pillow for a head, I just realized.
Archdeacons can get away with fashions we mere mortals couldn't possibly comprehend.
I have the power of God, and he said this looked okay on me. And Tom 60... Oh no.
That's mean, mate. Just because I look like Quasimodo in real life right down to the hump doesn't mean you get to call me a monster, okay?
Oh well. I didn't realize we were going to get that deep and harsh, man.
Now, if you excuse me, I have to go ring some bells. Completely unrelated, mind you. This is actually me calling all the commentators for the Disneython. Here comes the high note.
No way,
Don't ever do that again.
I'm just here to ruin this film you enjoy so much. I hope you realize that. And remember, you're the one who chose this. You've got to pay for it.
Ah, what a wonderful day. Yeah.
You ever wake up and you have like a nest in your mouth? See, that's what happens when you don't brush your teeth, kids.
Well, actually, I'm a flightless bird. I just didn't want to say anything.
I always love how in Disney movies and all these animated movies, like, the animals are so, like, okay, I'm going to use a word here that's obvious, animated. They're really got this humanistic qualities, where in real life, birds are stupid as hell. I remember there was this one bird who actually attacked my cat, like, on a regular basis when I was growing up, because, like, I think he had chicks up in some other tree that the cat wasn't even able to get to. But this stupid bird attacked it every day, multiple times. I walked back one day, that bird is gone.
That bird's dead as shit.
Fuck yes. She actually, I believe, walked up with that bird between her her jaws. You don't fuck with my cat forever, man.
Of course, we couldn't have a really dark-themed movie without a little bit of comedic relief. Otherwise, you'd have adults hanging themselves in the movie theater.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, I'm not sure how to feel about the Gargoyles. I mean, yeah, like you said, they're comic relief, and that can help for a movie that can get as heavy as it does throughout here, but at the same time, they're really out of place. I mean, I get the idea behind it. The fact that they don't really show up when other characters are on screen, except, like, the goat or something, kind of plays to the fact that since Quasimodo is alone, he kind of had to make his own sort of friends, talking to his action figures like I tend to do. But at the same time, they're so don't fit with the rest of the film. I just think if they toned them down a bit, it would have been a lot better.
Or remove them entirely, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I don't mind him having this idea of where, he has the gargoyles and he gives them personalities and things like that. I like that. But at the same time, they're too fucking mug the camera. You know what I'm saying? I believe the voice actress for this, I'm trying to remember. I know this was the last film she did before she passed away. They got like a different person for the sequel, which we won't talk about ever, I think.
That's like one of the only Disney sequels I haven't actually watched, and I've watched Mulan too, so that should tell you something.
But so you're that afraid, huh?
That's Jason Alexander as I think that's Victor, either Victor or Hugo.
Yeah, the gargoyles are named Victor, Hugo, and Laverne. I don't know where the Laverne comes from. I guess Shirley couldn't make it.
A bit of a swerve at the end there. Okay, Jason Alexander plays Hugo. There we go.
That is, I believe, David Hyde Pierce as,
No, let's see if I can get all this thing to play ball. Victor is played by Charles Kimbrough.
Then where did I get the other guy from? I think I was thinking of Hellboy at the time. I don't know.
Eternally, actually. Even my soul isn't allowed to leave the bell tower.
Don't listen to Jason Alexander for ideas, guys. It's not gonna work out.
I'll these gargoyles are just imparting really valuable life lessons here. Break the law, Quasi, on a daily basis.
Well, to be fair, he is kind of talking to himself here. This is all different aspects of his psyche, and like I said, I think that's an alright idea. They just kind of, they're goofy too much, you know what I'm saying? Ah, hello.
You too, master. Adamantium.
I got a picnic basket from the local bear today.
I stole it from the gypsies. They won't be needing it.
See, I like how Quasimodo has like a wooden cup, but Frollo has the better one. Cat? No! Oh, he put out the D word.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
What kind of wine is this?
Okay, you're kind of taking a big leap in judgment there, Frollo, although judgment isn't really that far from your daily schedule, I imagine.
I'm pretty sure he judges everything. Like, he gets a piece of bread, it's not entirely perfect, he looks at the chef and goes, "You'll burn."
But sir, I'm not even a gypsy, I don't care. Wonderful views of Paris, especially from high up.
Yeah, I do love the various wide scoping shots of the entire city in this movie. It looks really neat and would be a great place for Assassin's Creed to, take place in.
And I've prepared a song just for this moment.
It always kind of interests me how in these movies, any character could break out in song at any time, even when there's really no reason for them to do so.
I could be, just speaking to you right now, but you want to hear more of my wonderful baritone voice, don't you?
I mean, yeah, Tony J, I liked it when he singed. It was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm just saying, I don't think Frollo's the singy type, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure he partakes in hymns from time to time.
I guess. It's probably lip service, though, because I know this guy, come on. See, I wish I had more song numbers, for my own daily life, whenever I'm going around doing things. Like one time, I'm out of peanut butter. I'm out of the buttery stuff. I must go to the Walmart over there. Got to make my lunch sandwiches for my mouth. See, I like this model because it looks like he's building Lego Hunchback and Notre Dame, and I hope that game comes out soon.
Well, he's actually playing a tabletop game right now.
Oh, hey, I guess we're kind of similar, with the whole ugliness and all. I don't know, I prefer simple and clean myself.
We've already used that joke, Helldragon. This is Tom Hulse as Quasimodo. The only other thing I know him from is a film called Amadeus. He also provides Quasi's sing voice, and he is pretty good.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, it's kind of weird that, Quasimodo, a guy who has never really had contact with anyone besides, like, Frollo, is able to speak so eloquently and sing really well, which is weird because he's doing it better than me, and I'm kind of concerned here.
He's a bit of a vibrato, so if that bothers you, deal with it, I guess?
Yeah, you're watching this movie, you'll just have to fucking cope, I'm sorry.
This is actually one of my favourite numbers in the film. It's a bit of a I want song, but...
Well, we gotta have those in a Disney film, come on.
Especially a Disney Renaissance film. Now, if you watch carefully, you can actually see Belle from Beauty and the Beast walking down the street right there.
Yeah, lower right corner, I see her. I sure miss that life down there, where they don't know if they'll have enough to eat tomorrow.
Look at them, dying on the streets, excuse me, while I stay in the warmth.
I believe this is the time the Black Plague was about. He's also got those grind rails from Sonic Generations. No fair.
Ah! Usually when you splash water on your face, you're supposed to feel better, but in fact I feel worse right now.
I guess he learned how to sing from all the hymns they do here in this church.
That's a good point, mate.
Yeah, that makes more sense than, like, the fucking magical rat, has, like, a song, or the genie. Well, okay, the genie, I guess, would know this. See, wouldn't this be so much better if Spider-Man was swinging around on this thing? Wouldn't that be an awesome game?
What is it with you and time-era juxtaposition, Helldragon?
It's the breadcrumb posse.
Take him down.
It's my friends, the birds!
There we go. To peasant level.
Meanwhile, in Portsburg...
Portsburg. Brokesville.
No Moneyville.
Dinadaburg. That's Kevin Kline as Phoebus, and he was played by who was it in Dream Drop Distance, mate?
Phil Lamar actually played him in Dream Drop Distance, and he did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Phil Lamar's brilliant, mate. Now, I'd like to take note, Esmeralda is probably one of the only good-looking gypsies next to Clopan, and they're also, like, main figures in this story, so that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I have this strange feeling that they're going to be the main character, I just can't shake it. No freelancing allowed! Sell your soul to a job like everybody else.
Hope you paid tax on that, gypsy witch.
Just throw this, 1,000 years in the future, and it's the Quarians in Mass Effect. Well, I guess that was the point, but still.
She's trying to make it to the save point. Oh, it was like Tangled before Tangled was Tangled.
It's called a horse, dude.
That's fucking Patrick Starr's voice. I can't take him seriously now.
How come he only gets a knife? I thought he was a guard.
Well, when you become a proper soldier, you get like a cutlass or something, or a broadsword, I guess.
The length of your sword determines your rank, I suppose. I'm just started in the force. They gave me a butter knife.
Here you go, buy yourself some dignity.
We've got to try and make goats smoke more often. I just think that would be funny as hell. Meanwhile, they're looking for the black cauldron in there.
I've had enough of that shit for one marathon, thank you very much.
Did you whip it? Yes. Did you whip it good?
Thank you. That was amazing. It's a very sexy record. I hope you don't mind if I just glower at you, you handsome beast.
Captain Phoebus, would you like to be made into a Burger King toy? I hear we're going to get a lot of those with this movie.
I think I had a Frollo figure, actually. I can't remember if it was from Burger King or McDonald's, though.
I always tend to see Phoebus figures discarded in, toy bins at, the flea market. It's always him. I don't know why.
Without his sword, so he's
without
useless.
His sword, I think sometimes his cape is there. Usually his cape is, a plastic add-on you can't even take off. But still, it's always Phoebus.
Yeah, look at them, dancing and begging for money so they can eat. How dare they?
Those tenacious beats will not be tolerated.
We worship only one style of music in this fair city, and that is the dubstep.
Ew, what is he doing squishing bugs with, his bare fingers? Ew.
A palace of luckiness, if you will. Okay, that sounds more marketable.
Multi-kill! Holy shit!
Shall we make out? Darn. Well, I rolled around in the shit once, if that's what you mean.
Well, you'll find the smell is pretty much the same.
Wonderful camera work in this film, if you can even call it that, the panning shots and such.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a direct contrast to, like, really early Disney films that I've been looking at.
Goodbye, parts of my inner psyche, I'm gonna go have fun.
Yeah, I won't need them where I'm going, apparently. Ah, hell, it's this guy again. See, I can do that tone naturally, that pitch, but, he's trying and I'm not, so.
Can you hold a high note for what seemed like 5 minutes, though? I'm always up for a bit of Punch and Judy. How about you, Helldragon?
I do like puppets acting out their abusive relationships in front of an audience, yeah.
Well, that took a bit of a dark turn. Thanks, mate.
Well, we're watching Hunchback. What do you think?
Now, I like this song, but this and Court of Miracles are probably my least favourite of the soundtrack. What do you think?
Sorry, I was distracted by the woman. What did you say?
You know what? Never mind. I'll bring it up again later.
Just make sure to do it when there's nothing distracting on screen, like the credits.
Now, that's Demi Moore as Esmeralda. They got some big Hollywood talent back in the day.
Well, that's kind of the standard for these kind of movies. Like, even recent anime movies, they'll go with the celebrities. That actually started with Transformers the movie. They got Leonard Nimoy and Orson Welles, and that kind of started the whole trend.
Yeah, and Orson Welles fucking hated it, apparently.
That's what I've heard. There's kind of a few dissenting reports, I think.
I like how he got transported there in like a Pope-mobile.
I don't even know why he's there. Like, what does this do for him?
It makes him seem like a benevolent dictator, I guess.
I guess, or maybe to keep an eye on the gypsies.
Gotta put in some FaceTime, and this scene is for the dads.
Son, I'm glad I took you to this.
I ain't a dad, but I'll take it anyway. Thank you very much. I fucking love that line.
No, I don't like this verse. It's also a really nice scene to see, just kind of the scope they have for all of the crowd scenes. Like, all of these people. I'm trying to remember, like, how much exactly was formed by CGI and some by acting, because I think they used some in this movie for, like, all these big crowd scenes.
Well, you get to Kingdom Hearts and there's fucking zilch.
Yeah, they certainly didn't, have that kind of budget for that game. Tom, I think you've got it this year. I think you could take this crown.
I got this in the bag, mate. Because we're lazy!
Yeah.
Meh.
That's alright, I guess.
Bleh.
I like how they just kick them all off stage, fuck their health.
Oh my god, it's real? How could I possibly know that?
Yeah, now that I think about it, how does he know that?
Frodo's weekly newsletter, I hate my adopted son. He's ugly as shit, lives in a bell tower.
Today's editorial, remember, don't fucking do what I think you're gonna do.
Oh my god, they're killing him! Oh, they're just throning him, I guess.
That's kind of worse, don't you think?
Yeah, because it's going to put ideas into his head.
These are all the tattered newsletters. That's where they got all this confetti.
Frollo is fucking pissed right now. I should be up there. I should be the one wearing the crown.
Why didn't he put out, like, flyers yet that says no fun allowed? Because you know he would.
Because it's implied. I shouldn't have to tell you the lesson, you should instantly know the lesson.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to do when you're teaching somebody.
Alright, song's over, go home.
I still don't get what's so topsy-turvy about this. Like, you think, like, they wouldn't have a party. That would be unexpected, don't you think?
Brilliant. No, this is Patrick.
Once there was an ugly hunchback. He was so ugly that everyone threw shit at him. The end. It's time to use my torture fetish.
Mummy, I don't want to watch Disney anymore.
Where are the gargoyles when you need them?
What, is Satan descending or something? What's going on with the lighting?
I don't get what the fuck they're doing here. How is this like a happy festival thing? Why would you make like a torture rack spitty device?
Well, you see, because he's ugly, Helldragon, they feel justified in beating him.
Ah, okay, makes sense, I suppose.
They're about to run out of vegetables, sir.
Bring in the sinks.
Sorry, that just synced up perfectly with his animation. I didn't get to throw a vegetable and I don't have a sink, so I'm just going to slap you right in the face. Gently, though. It's a good kind of hurting.
Listen, I know your OkCupid profile didn't work out the first time, but I trust me, if you try it again, you'll get better results. This is going in my newsletter. How dare you cut rope?
Justice!
Is dead.
Or so Quasi thinks. This will make the front page tomorrow.
I want pictures! Pictures of gypsies!
You have no idea how apt that statement is, mate. Take him down.
Go, my no-fun police!
Yeah, just teleport already. Hachoo!
No, that's from the joke shop up the street, man.
He thinks everything is witchcraft?
He gets like a perfectly made toasted piece of bread. Witchcraft.
Tupperware, it keeps cold things cold and warm things warm. Witchcraft.
Judge Frollo, this is a Hot Pocket. There is meat inside this bread. Witchcraft.
An unholy matrimony of two things that should have never been mixed.
I hated this level in the video game. I don't even know if this got a video game, actually.
I'm pretty sure it did, but I've never played it.
I'm trying to remember, and I'm drawing up a blank in all honesty. I know Return to Neverland got a video game of all films.
Yes, I watched that too. It was a boring afternoon, okay? Don't judge me. Don't be like Frollo.
I love how the theme for that movie was that, you know, you should have fun, and they're in the middle of fucking World War II.
50 points.
Nicely done. Oh, good night.
Nasty. Well, I'm off to leave Quasi to take the blame, bye. My boy, you are so entirely and eternally fucked.
Everything's going in the newsletter, every little detail. So you can tell he's evil because his horse looks mean.
Alright, Ganondorf, calm it down.
You don't get to be in Brawl.
Until next year. These festivals are like a yearly occurrence. I can't wait to see how they'll top the Quasi abuse next year. It's going to be fascinating.
We're gonna have like 3 times the abuse. It'll be great. Well, this Mardi Gras was completely fucked, wasn't it? We need to start a movement, seriously, to make more goats smoke. Just 'cause it would be funny.
Start that Kickstarter, mate.
Reward here, you get to see a goat smoke, come on!
That's like all the things. Love the inside of Notre Dame. Wonderful architecture.
Oh yeah, I love, all of the cool art detail they brought to this movie. They really got it down to, a really realistic detail, and it looks great. God, you know what this is reminding me of, actually? There was, a cheapo version of this called Secret of the Hunchback. Oh boy, that movie. I'd tell you what the secret is, but I think it would blow your mind.
Well, I'm never going to watch it, so go ahead.
The secret of the Hunchback, according to that movie, is that the Hunchback has wings and was actually an angel from heaven this entire time.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it comes out of fucking nowhere, doesn't it? It literally pops up last 5 minutes of that movie. Oh, he's an angel. Well, you think that's a bit of an important plot point?
I have to go now. Heaven needs me. No.
That's pretty much what happened.
Quasi died on the way back to his home planet.
That's pretty much what happened, yeah.
Just keep belting out that J-pop hit and you'll be fine. Sure is a lot of sexual tension for being inside a church, just saying. What kind of silly name is Phoebus?
Sounds like a bone, don't you think? And incidentally, that's what he wants to do, but still. No, don't arrest the comedy goat, I'll miss him.
And you and I... No? Okay.
Well, she should have declared simple and clean.
Stop having fun!
Yeah, it's he always comes in to ruin Frollo's good parade. He's gonna bring in the fear of God. No, Frollo, quit having fun.
Down, boy, heel. Oh, nice hiding spot, mate. Nice hiding spot.
He's completely vanished.
Surprise.
Oh, see, remember this scene in Dream Drop Distance. Here, of course, obviously, it's a lot more sexually charged. Because at this point, we kind of know Frollo's got it in for Esmeralda. What a creep. I mean, seriously.
I'm surprised they got away with this. And Tony J, he just plays it completely straight.
I know, that's why the character is so effective, I think. All of those elements had to come together to create someone like this that's so memorable, and it really worked. You could play the biggest checkers game on this floor.
If you can beat me at worldwide checkers, I'll let you out of this, no strings attached.
I'm gonna king one of my 400 queens.
Just give me a minute to set up this exit portal and I'll get you out of here in a jiff.
Why did they team her up with a goat instead of a cat?
At least the goat doesn't talk.
Well, I mean, no, that's a legitimate question. You'd think it would be super adorable and shit to have a comedy cat, but instead it's a goat.
Well, a cat would have to attack with its claws. A goat can just headbutt people.
That's true.
Jesus? Yes, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think they could really pull off anything like this anymore. What with all the religious imagery. Only I think Disney could really get away with something like this.
And yeah, it's funny, they don't play the religion aspect for laughs either. That's played straight as well, and that's why I think it works so effectively.
Yeah, it's subtle. I mean, they don't dwell on it a lot, but they only bring it up at the most important times, and I think as a result, it's a lot stronger in this movie.
Yeah, it doesn't point at Frodo and go, haha, what a stupid, God-fearing man. No, everyone in the movie is kind of dictated by religion.
Yeah, I remember the title of this song, God Save the Outcast, because you decided you wanted to name every part of that world in Dream Drop Distance after the songs in this movie.
I can't believe I'm still proud of that.
I kinda can't believe that either.
I have a hard time pointing across how much I like something, so I just went for the subtle thing there.
Yeah, I come off as maximum dorkiness, but I think it's for the better.
He kind of like trips over a chest that has a potion in it.
Yeah, I found that upstairs when I was playing too.
I didn't ask you to join in on the song, but okay.
I just realized that pizza delivery would be so much better if the guy came with a song too.
It's extra large.
I would prefer pepperoni on only half. Stuffed crust is optional.
Let's just profane this wonderful song by talking about pizza, shall we?
Well, we've already kind of done it, so we might as well, you know.
I can't remember if I actually visited Notre Dame when I went to Paris, but goddamn, I need to go again one of these days.
The closest thing I've ever been to a church like this, there was like this big old church down in St. Augustine. I can't remember the name of it, but it had this kind of scope. I mean, obviously it wasn't as big as Notre Dame, you know, and it didn't have any of the football, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Then a football just comes streaking through that wonderful stained glass window.
We're not ready for some football, come on!
What's this even doing here? It's not, like, time appropriate. Just be glad that young Xehanort's not rearing his head right now.
I love you, smoking goat. You're my best friend. Oh, hey, I'm apparently burning some stuff.
I guess he does come down from, like, time to time to, like, change the candles or whatever you do in a church. Yeah, you sure got tortured, alright?
Yeah, that was pretty great, you know, remember that?
That's his own psyche talking to him, so figure that shit out. You too! Gotta go ring bells. No, that's not a euphemism. I actually have to go ring the biggest bell in here.
Oh, so the goat can see them, but not the people? What's up with that?
Didn't they bring that up again in the second movie?
Yeah, I don't know if she was blind or just stupid, but the other girl they brought in apparently saw them move. Which I don't really like. I think I prefer it to just be aspects of Quasimodo's psyche.
I love that wind chime made out of stained glass. It's just wonderful.
I love Lego Hunchback and Notre Dame. No, I didn't finish them for the quest yet. It's okay, you know, as long as you don't mind not having any friends to play Dungeons and Dragons with.
He has to be the dungeon master and all the players.
You know, believe it or not, they actually have tools for solo tabletop gaming.
That wasn't a segue for you to start talking about your hobby, mate. Okay, in the second movie, there's a massive bell which is, like, jewel encrusted on the inside.
Yeah, but here it's not. I don't get that.
It must be hidden away in the background.
You know, back there with all the other sequel shit, we'll drag it when that time comes.
Like, what's that bell doing under that tarp? It's not important for now. Trailer shop. Where is the king? Why isn't he dealing with Frodo and his fucking zealotry?
Did they have kings at this time? I don't know, because obviously I don't pay attention to history.
You'd be surprised what you can live through, etc. He beats me because he loves me.
I didn't look like this to begin with. I just fell down a lot of stairs.
My God, Helldragon. That's horrible.
You started it. I followed up. Come on. Is she gonna do that thing where she spits on his hand like in The Simpsons? There's some Monster in Paris lines, but that's a completely different film.
Did you ever get around to watching that?
No, I really need to, because I hear it was pretty decent.
Quasi, you're crushing my hand. Thanks for the comedic aside, really takes all the tension out of a scene.
I mean, out of all the other complaints in the movies, the gargoyles, I get that the most. I can see why they would be a problem.
You know what's sad? In Dream Drop Distance, you never have any nighttime scenes.
Yeah, I realize that, but because I guess changing the skybox would be like $1,000, and they just can't do that.
I can't even remember who they got to play Quasimodo, but he sounded almost exact, so I'm pretty happy with the representation, voice-wise, in that world.
I don't like the free roaming mode in this game.
Sneak peek at Mirror's Edge 2.
There's the game over screen from that.
Totally extreme!
That's funny, but at the same time he has an earring through his ear, and I'm surprised it's not infected by now. Frollo won't let me have girls in my room!
What about Laverne?
Well, are we sure about that? I mean, let's think about it. There has to be a reason why Laverne was the girl.
Is she indicative of his sexual frustration?
I don't know. Maybe he needs a mother figure?
You might want to speed up, there you go.
Yeah, this is a speed run, not a first playthrough.
And then he's like, shit, I've got to climb back up as well.
I love the fire actually animated in this movie, and that's especially good that it looks good, because fire will play a major part in the climax, obviously. I just love it in this film, though. No Kevin Klines allowed.
You ever notice that a lot of the male protagonists in Disney movies have red hair, and they have the same pawing at the front of their hair?
Yeah, I see what you mean by that.
There's this one Tumblr post I have, where it's like a list of all the male and female red-haired protagonists in Disney, and then it's something like, oh, I love this, it's a complete collection, and then there's just like a picture of Quasi, like, chained up and looking really pissed at the bottom, because they didn't include him. Yeah, I have a medal to that effect.
I did get the achievement, after all.
This is the first of two songs that kind of go together. This is Heaven's Light.
Yeah, but to be honest, nobody really tends to remember Heaven's Light, do they?
No, they just remember the one that comes after.
Well, I mean, the one that comes after is obviously very distinct in the movie, but this song's okay, you know?
It provides a wonderful contrast, and I guess that was the idea. Quasi must really hate himself. Either that or he's never looked in a mirror.
I don't think they gave him a mirror.
Or maybe they did and it just kept cracking.
Also, somehow he learned how to whittle up here. Oh wow, Laverne actually made a good drawing.
That Esmeralda was also, like, on the nose. Why is Quasi so bad? Was that, like, the first one he made?
Well, remember, Quasi is making these in reflection of how he sees the other people. Of course, he views himself as looking really ugly, so that's why his little sculpture is the ugliest one.
Oh, that makes me feel really bad now.
Good job, Tom. I'm glad I'm working with such a sympathetic co-commentator.
Shut the fuck up. We've arrived at that point, Hell Dragon.
What point?
The point where everyone asks, did you name your commentary group after the song from Hunchback of Notre Dame? And I say to you people, no! No, okay, stop asking.
People ask that?
Quite a bit, yeah. Meanwhile, at the Palace of Justice.
Looking for that black cauldron. One of the most memorable songs of the movie, so I feel the need to talk over it. After all this time, do you think Hellfire is overrated?
No, actually, I think it's a wonderfully written and performed song, and it deserves all the accolades that have been hauled upon it.
Yeah, I agree, but you always gotta watch out for these kind of things, because when you get something, this is what I've tended to notice. When something gets too popular, it gets overrated, but you have to remember that things get overrated to begin with, because usually they're based on something pretty good. I would say that Hellfire, a lot of people bring it up instantly when you talk about Hunchback, and I guess in that sense it's a bit overrated, but like you said, it gets that for a reason. It's so well done. It matches Frollo really well. Tony J brings a lot to the performance. I love the direction, the colors of it. It's so dynamic. And I could see why so many people like it.
It's top 5 Disney songs of all time, easily. I thought they were just mumbling nonsense here, but they're actually saying mea culpa. I'm not exactly sure what that means, just let me look it up. It's definitely religious based. It translates from Latin to English as through my fault.
Yeah, that's the thing, with Frollo. And this song also explodes on the whole fact that, he feels he shouldn't be feeling this way to Esmeralda, but his dedication towards religion is what's driving him crazy back and forth with this kind of thing. And it's a really great piece for fleshing him out even further as just this thoroughly bad dude.
That's a wonderful shot of the guard. You just see him in silhouette.
Or kill everyone, as we found out in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, right.
I'm also remembering the cool remix somebody did of this song for Dream Drop Distance, and it's still a shame that they did not remix any of the music for that game.
Well, that's one of Kingdom Hearts' biggest faults, to be honest, not treating the movies with the right amount of respect, and that goes musically as well as thematically. What, has it been sent to the Shadow Realm or something? Absolutely wonderful. And you have the best follow-up line to a musical ever right here, I think. I'm just a baker, for God's sake. Jesus.
She might be here getting bread!
Yeah, this is where Frodo starts taking off the kid gloves and goes fucking beast mode against the gypsies. Oh, hey, it's that one thing that Riku goes to in Dream Drop Distance.
I think Don Quixote tried to kill this building one time, didn't he?
There's a save point outside, my lord. Please use it. Hey, you think he's just gonna leave him alone, but...
Yeah, well, totally a reasonable response, don't you think?
They may or may not have the gypsy I'm looking for. Kill them! Then ask their smouldering remains where she is.
Judge Frollo, they don't have the cherry sours you were looking for. Burn it.
But sir, they're getting them in. Burn it! Oh yeah, totally a coward, not wanting to burn innocents alive.
Burning down the house!
What the fuck? That was a good job he was wearing metal armor.
The first fireman, ladies and gentlemen. We're just gonna lock him up anyway, so...
Uses a sword, knocks him out with the hilt. Good job. Well, if the punishment's death, why didn't they just stab him through the back when he wasn't looking?
They gotta keep him alive so Esmeralda can save him. Do you think, Frollo's horse shares the same views as Frollo because he looks obviously evil?
Nay, fucking gypsies, nay!
Yeah, you can actually see Frollo's horse on Animal Farm.
Watery gypsy-filled grave.
Yeah, full of gypsy shit.
Which I killed.
She's getting it in all that fabric. Ugh, that's never gonna come out. Oh well, there we go. Burning everything. Jumping the gun a bit there, don't you think?
It's actually a lot better than it looks here. It's just a citywide barbecue, really.
We're having a big, godly roast.
I guess the only other person she's had interactions with that I know of.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't think of it sooner. Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate.
Wait, aren't we parts of his inner psyche? Wouldn't he know already?
Who knows how that works? I'm Jason Alexander!
Oh boy, actually, you know what? I take it back. This is the worst song in the film.
Really? We're gonna jump guns to here.
Just hurry up and get it over with. Now, I want you to take into effect that the city's burning right now, okay? Esmeralda's on the run. Quasi thinks she might be dead.
And Phoebus has been injured as a result.
But no, what we need is a twee little cheesy love song. You know, I think there's a version of the film, much like the Phantom edit for Star Wars Episode 1, where they completely remove the gargoyles or almost entirely take them out.
Then again, if this is Quasimodo's psyche, we really have to consider his priorities at the moment while Paris is burning. Like, does he just hallucinate this love song to himself? Like, is this what he's thinking about the most? She might be dead, she might be not, but we might boink as a result.
Bit squish, but we'll work with it.
What would you rather have? The talking gargoyle or the talking goat guy? You know, from Hercules.
What, Phil?
Yeah.
Fucking Phil any day of the week, mate. Danny DeVito or Robert, whatever his name was.
Yeah, Phil kind of tended to do better as a result.
Well, Phil wasn't comic relief. He was Hercules' trainer. If you want to talk comic relief, look at Pain and Panic.
No, Phil was also kind of comic relief, but like you say, you know, he fulfilled the purpose.
Sacre bleu.
Oh, nice! This is kind of the trend at this point, you know? We gotta have these comic relief characters that reference things that don't actually exist yet.
Are you seriously expecting me to take Quasimodo seriously now that you just compared him to a croissant?
Ah! What am I looking at?
Paint me like one of your French gargoyles.
What part of Quasimodo is this supposed to be? Yeah, sometimes I want to be a lounge singer, you know? That's a part of my second. Ah! This is so unnecessary. Oh my god. If you took this out, you know, you'd be fine. They just had to pad the movie out. That's what I'm convinced. Like, they just need to fill a few more minutes. Give the gargoyles a fucking song. Why not? Of course, you know why they do that, though. Because they always think these characters are going to be the breakout kind. You know, they're the ones that kids will really want to see the most.
I mean, it's got a nice crescendo, this song, but yeah, totally filler.
It was a nice way to waste our time, I agree. What a great thing.
Friend zone in 3, 2, 1. If you pause the movie, you can pinpoint the exact second where his heart breaks in two.
We gotta build the strength for the climax of the film. You poured wine on it!
Quasi's right there, Esmeralda.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't care. I have to say, I really love the lighting as a whole in this film. I mean, again, you know, like, even earlier on, they had a big theme with whole lights and shadows and how things were cast. You know, little different hints of fire, you know, like the light here and things like that. I really like how it's done.
Esmeralda's eyes are really striking as well, so that helps.
I guess we weren't meant to be, Quasi, now's not the time, dude. Are you just gonna watch him mesh faces like that? Are you gonna?
Meanwhile, Esmeralda and Phoebus screw like rabbits in the background, and he's just standing there watching.
Now, if that was the Ace of Spades, I could at least made that reference, but I'll spare you for now. I drained his soul from him.
Just like a gypsy would.
Don't worry, Quasi. You can get the goat.
Actually, just before we see him again, the Archdeacon, I was just reading this on IMDb, is voiced by David Ogden Stiers, who was Helldragon. You should know this, I brought him up more than once.
He was a guy I don't know at the moment. I've got a song number for that too.
Well, I'll spare you that musical number. He was Jumba in Lilo and Stitch.
There we go.
He was Ratcliffe in Pocahontas, and he was some guy in another film. He gets around. It's a poison sandwich.
You're not supposed to give it up right away, dude.
Oh, sorry, I meant a poisson sandwich. You know, tuna.
I love that little smirk he did back there. It's just so quick, but I love that.
Wonderfully tense scene here.
Oh, yeah. You're not hiding boyfriends from me, are you?
Why did you jump to boyfriend, Master? Oh, just a hunch. What's that supposed to mean, Master?
The stench? No, that's always been there.
Did you get it from Games Workshop?
You know they charge out of the ass.
You know it's run by fucking gypsies!
No, we were gonna use that for the game! Oh! They're robots! Robots! A delicious treat!
I take 5,000, but they kind of died in the blaze.
Yeah, I didn't really calculate that far. Meanwhile, the heads in the corner are like, man, that was some deep shit.
Also, stop saying friend, okay? It pierces my heart.
Well, you know the goat has been looking at you pretty fondly lately.
He doesn't want to settle for second best.
Maybe I could be a goat person too.
Yeah?
That's how these movies tend to work, right?
There's no monster lines on there, what are you talking about?
I didn't see any, did you?
Wait a minute, it's some sort of code.
I didn't catch any dreams with this thing.
That's because God doesn't send them down to hell.
Ah, alright, Spider-Man, thanks.
It's a thingy. I love thingies.
Well, the city doesn't look this ugly, come on.
Banter.
See, clearly Quasimodo was meant to end up with Phoebus.
You know they love each other, they just won't admit it.
And we'll milk this for like 5 seasons, come on.
How I Met Your Hunchback.
That's harsh. Look, if anyone asks, we are merely out to trick or treat.
Le trick or le treat. Now this bit's in da-da-da, but it's not lit anywhere near as well as this scene. It's kind of like a overcast day in that game.
I'm actually a bit surprised they did change the skybox for that. Oh no, it's downstairs in the water deep. I've played Eye of the Beholder. I know what's gonna happen.
No, it's the Palace of Laughter and silly things.
Yeah, you know, and rainbows and sunshine. What the fuck do you think? Yeah, I want to hang with these guys more. Look, it's so lively.
Oh my god, I swear to god if the Horn King pops up, I am just done.
Hey, there are some witches down here. What's up with that? I told you he was a comic book character.
I'm not really a fan of Clopan without his mask. I think the mask just sets off his face and makes it light up like a summer morning. I used my mother and father's skulls for that. I don't give a shit.
They'd be okay with being used in a song number like this. Do you think they set this up ahead of time just in case this happens so they can have their fancy song number?
Well, mate, you saw Topsy Turvy. That shit wasn't planned, it was all impromptu.
Hey look, it's more people than happened in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, the game made a sweet mockery out of this scene.
Don't skip, please. What a dick. I object to this weird number.
Because you gagged me, you idiot.
Yeah, I think we all should just punch that guy, if you don't mind. Can I punch him? That'd be great.
He also said he'd be 5,000, but they kind of all died in the Paris blaze.
I'm not really sure what to make of that. The fun police is coming, watch out.
Awkward.
Gotta admit, pretty good gambit by Frollo here.
Well, he kind of just relied on, Quasi's naivete to set things in motion, which I guess he's always done.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's intelligent that he would do that, you know? Take advantage of what you've got.
I'll give you a treat later.
Do they have quasi biscuits?
Yeah, they're called regular biscuits.
Yeah, actual food. This is what you get.
With a knife. Or maybe a cannon.
I'll probably be singing while I'm doing that, let's be honest. I just love that sneer. He's just like, that's all he has to do. He can make his face prune, and that's it.
Doesn't need, actual physicality to be able to hurt Quasi at this point.
And that's true, that's true. That's the big thing about Frollo, I've thought. You know, like, why he's so effective. He doesn't need physical force. He's just effective by his doctrine alone, and that, I think, really helps him stand out from all the other, more physically powerful Disney villains. Are you guys having fun?
Not this time, Archdeacon.
This time I will have the jollies.
This time I will be raising the roof.
Oh, well, what a good choice.
The gypsy has chosen option C, spit in my face.
Wait.
I don't even know why I put it on there, but regardless, she will burn.
I shouldn't have made this multiple choice is what I'm basically trying to say.
Once again, at a subconscious level, he kind of does want to break the chains.
Well, again, you know, I think that really gets played well throughout the movie. Go mug the scenery somewhere else.
Just think, we could have had Goliath, Broadway, Lexington. But instead we get Dumb, Dumb and Dumber.
I mean, even as a stone gargoyle, Laverne has a huge butt. I just realized that.
One of the best scenes in the film, right?
Back to Pittsburgh with you!
Pittsburgh, no!
I won't send her back! That place is a shithole!
If the fire doesn't get you, the smoke sure will.
I like how Frollo's teeth is perfectly sparkly white. Quasimodo angry!
You wanted Spider-Man, mate, you got it.
Spider-Man, Tarzan, Other Man. This was so great in the video game and Dream Drop Distance where nobody was here.
Eat shit.
You know, fair, he has Fireman's weapon.
That builds up so well and just comes to a crescendo here. Just listen to this.
He's setting up for the ultimate body slam!
By God, he threw Esmeralda off the clock tower!
She's dead! Stop the match!
Sorry, that just tickled me. Attack on Notre Dame.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised he brought up that kind of reference.
Do.
I'm proud of you. Now, if only you did that with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, then we could truly be friends.
I'm getting there. Wait, what?
Nothing.
Fuck you, I like Squidward better.
Squidward's alright in small doses. By the way, I just want to point this out. I think spears are much cooler fantasy weapons than swords. It's just personal preference, and I felt that was important to express right now.
Let go!
We will have alternative religious methods! We have the right to worship flying spaghetti monsters! Nicely done. Dead.
Not dead, but probably critically injured.
And here is a use of bullet seed, looks like.
So Quasi must have had to do all of this himself, right?
Now, I'm guessing that's what it implies here. That poor guy. No Batmans allowed!
Oh, apparently Goofy was attacking Notre Dame.
See, a Goofy is of good heart, but sometimes his priorities are misplaced.
Okay, I actually kind of like that joke.
Oh, the goat got to do something, thank God. Oh, no.
Darry, don't you just hate when comic relief becomes effective and actually has some good comedy to him?
Yeah, you know, it kind of makes me wonder why they couldn't do that for the rest of the movie, you know?
There was a wonderful joke earlier, by the way, where Phoebus is checking the speed of his horse, Achilles, and he goes, Achilles, heel.
By the way, this is pretty fucking brutal right here.
Is this what Notre Dame was originally designed for?
Well, you have to consider the time period. These castles would need to have been able to do this, I think, to fend off against invaders.
It's a cathedral, mate.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's a house of God, not a house of lava.
Well, I'm glad nobody's been building a house of lava.
Fuck off, Jumba.
Oh, well, I'm glad he's standing up to him now. I can't help you, I might be slightly dead. I'm loading my waking scenario. This doesn't really make sense, because this probably shouldn't have killed her, unless, she kind of inhaled too much smoke, I guess, to not breathe. That's the only conceivable way I could see this actually killing her.
Or, stress.
I guess. People have died of weirder stuff. And this isn't going to work very good for the Burger King toys.
Dying Esmeralda. Probably their least popular variant.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly move the units, don't you think?
Utterly distraught Quasi, sold only like 10 copies.
And this is the part where he dies! No, we're not going to do that.
Yes, they lay her to rest after Frollo hangs her, by the way. Pretty sure he hung her. And then Quasi breaks into her crypt, puts his arms around her, and starves to death. So when they later go into the crypt, they find a really weirdly shaped skeleton hugging her corpse.
Awesome.
Just thought I'd say that again before the end of the movie, so I can round that point home.
I'm not gonna stab you, I'm not gonna stab you, I'm not gonna stab you, I'm not gonna stab you.
Oh, right, I'm really strong.
Yeah, at this point, Fro's like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
What is this beast I have created? And that's the moral, kids.
Don't judge Frollo unless Frollo does things you should judge him for.
Shasha. Okay, that was a bit delayed, Frollo. Whenever I say shasha, you're supposed to jump out and look menacing.
Now, really, would you have wanted this guy to be a boss fight in Dream Drop Distance? Come on, I don't think it would have worked.
Well, Scar wasn't really boss fight material, but
Scar's a fucking lion! It makes sense!
Well, you could have Frollo plus Giant, Heartless, or Dream Eater.
Or maybe a stand-sized Dream Eater. Yes, yes! I like where you're going with this.
I just wanted my Hellfire remix, okay?
Same here. I would have liked it too. By the way, I killed your mother. I figured I'd mention it now.
And that's why I wear a cloak.
I used that stun move from Arkham Asylum.
Drop him. Drop him.
He can't. You know he can't.
Damn your daddy issues, Quasi.
I too can be Spider-Man. Oh.
Look at his fucking face, especially his eyes.
His teeth! Oh god, brushing! Who's up for some irony?
See you in hell, Frollo.
Ultimate pile driver! Totally worth it!
You ruined this movie for me now. I can't ever look at this movie the same way again.
You're welcome.
I should have broken Phoebus's arms and probably his back too, by the way.
No, he's gone through enough shit. Let's just leave him with this, okay?
I think it would have been funny if she ran right past Quasi and hugged Phoebus first.
Well, at least he gets hug credit, come on. They've been through a lot of shit. I can't come, can I? No, you can't.
Not in more ways than one, Quasi. Spoilers, they get married and have a kid in the second film, who's voiced by Haley Joel Osment.
Yes, Sora is their kid, and I think I know who to blame. Did he win the belt? I don't know why we're... Okay, whatever.
So who cleaned up Frollo's blasted remains, as you so eloquently put it in Didada?
Yeah, that's true. The fire isn't burning anymore. You don't see his corpse. What happened to it? It would have fucking melted. I've got the sinks ready! No, we're not doing that.
But what are we gonna do with these sinks? Install them, maybe?
Central plumbing? Hey!
That's a good idea.
Mommy, I want the ugly one!
He's pretty ugly, I guess. Just give him a feel. Yep, definitely feels ripe.
Yeah, you know, for like an ugly person, he's still got like the cute ugly kind of design. Not like super hideous, as you would be expecting, you know?
It's not end Tom quality, but it's getting there.
I tried to kill them earlier, it's okay though!
Well, folks, we have come to the end of the HellfireComms Disneython. It's been a fantastic ride. I just want to thank all the co-commentators for helping out with this massive project, and you in particular, Helldragon. And I hope you've all had a good time. And if you want to see another marathon in the future, please leave a comment with a suggestion. I've been ntom64.
And I've been the Helldragon.
And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
See you then!